up, FABcasters? R Bar with the Drive Time Podcast here. I'm reflecting on the Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman fight. But there's no news flash about who won. Manny Pacquiao won. It was obvious. But I want to talk about the face-to-face off on PBS 3 days prior to the fight, where Keith Thurman said, you know, Manny Pacquiao, you like to quote verses, so I'm going to quote something. I'm going to crucify you, which doesn't make any sense, right? And you know, I'll let that one slide because, you know, Keith Thurman is he doesn't know much about the scriptures, obviously, and he's a millennial. I mean, not all millennials are ignorant about that, but he happens to be an ignorant millennial on that subject. But I was noticing Manny Pacquiao, he doesn't get offended. He's really unoffendable, and in his heart, he knew that it's just about selling the show too. There's money involved. It's a business, and people have been doing that for years. Like, the trash talking thing is part of the business. That's why Manny was like, he was just chuckling. He's like, but I think here's what I think was going on. Manny was laughing because they know they're supposed to sell it, right? They're supposed to sell out the arena, sell out pay-per-view. Tito Ortiz has been doing that since what's it called? MMA, UFC. Conor McGregor does an excellent job at UFC doing it. Keith Thurman, it just seemed fake. It didn't seem like genuine trash talking. It seemed like he he was reaching, if that makes sense. I don't know. It sounded forced. Whereas Conor McGregor, it's natural. Floyd Mayweather Jr., it just seems natural. It makes you want to see that person get knocked out because there's so much trash talking. When Keith Thurman did that, I felt kind of bad for him. So I want to talk about this. Unoffendable. Brant Hansen wrote a book called Unoffendable. Changed my life. I encourage you to read it. Get it on Audible. It talks about never being offended, and that's been a lifestyle for me now, to choose to never be offended, and that's what Manny did. So, Christians, what do you do when you hear someone say something like, well, I'm going to crucify you? You like to quote the Bible, and they start saying, you know, they start trash talking Jesus, start trash talking God. They start talking like that. What do you do? You get offended? Well, that's not Jesus style, because Jesus was never offended. If anything, his heart broke for people. His heart didn't break because of people. So what's your response? How do you respond? Me, I never get offended by something. If I was sitting in Manny's seat, now talk is cheap, I think I would have said something like this, like, look, I get it, we're trying to sell tickets, but now that we're on the subject, what do you think about crucifixion? Yeah, you're going to crucify me, I get it. Let's let our fists talk in the ring. But I don't want to lose this moment. Keith Thurman, what do you think about crucifixion? I mean, what do you think about a guy named Jesus who died, was crucified? Oh, by the way, that was prophesied hundreds of years prior, and he was crucified and he resurrected 3 days later. What do you do with that? We're on national TV right now, and you have three options. One of the most famous writers, C.S. Lewis, said Jesus is either a liar, a lunatic, or the Lord. Those are your only three options right now on national TV. We are recording live. What do you think about that? And just let it get awkward, or let it get quiet, because you want to rock and roll on national TV. Let's do it. Maybe I would have thrown in something like, look, is this a one-way conversation where you're just going to verbally jab me in the mouth and you expect me to back down, or do you want to exchange here? Because we can roll like this if you want to. So Keith, I'm putting you on the spot right now. What think ye of Jesus? I would go King James on him. Seriously, man. And if push came to shove, I don't have any problem with putting a guy in the spot. So you're a fighter, right? You're fearless, right? So tell me something right now. If I was Manny, I'll say this. Tell me something right now that you've never told your wife. Right now. And if you haven't told your wife something, a secret, then don't call yourself fearless, man. And Manny made a movie years ago. I think it was 2006 or 2005. It's about his life story. It's about the the downfall of fortune and fame, and how he cheated on his wife, and how he had a child with another woman, and how he turned to alcohol, and he was getting in fights, and he almost destroyed his marriage, and he was unfaithful to Jinky, and he put that all out in a movie. And in the movie, he read a book called The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. I think it was a Tagalog version. He got down on his knees, and he surrendered to the Lord, and his life changed radically from that moment on. But he's not a fearful man. Because if a man, right, calls himself fearless, then he shouldn't have any secrets with his wife. Shouldn't have any secrets with his friends. We shouldn't have any secrets with anybody he's so-called friends with or doing life with. And so if push came to shove, I would take it there, and I would say, you know what, I am here. I know I'm a fighter, I'm a boxer, but really I believe in spiritual warfare, and I'm a spiritual warrior, and I'm here to help you get set free from the chains that keep you down, i.e. all your secrets, shame, and guilt that's holding you down. Now, I don't know. I mean, Keith could be a guy with no secrets, but there's a reason why someone is always hostile to Jesus, and why they can run off at the mouth and sort of have this diarrhea of the mouth and say obscenities and trash talk God. There's always a reason, and it's never a good reason. It always happens to happen when a person is operating out of their wounds. So I don't look at someone like that and say, well, you know, yeah, maybe he studied well, and his academic studies led him to believe that Jesus is a farce. No. Something happened to that young man. Something happened, whether some sort of father figure had let him down and now he wants to kill a father figure, like most atheists will, what has happened to them. Something happened where he wants to, maybe one of his family members was shoving Jesus down their throat. Maybe he has that annoying Christian family member. Well, I don't know. But Manny did well. Kuya Manny, you're the man. For everybody else that would have melted in that situation, stay calm. Stay calm. And I'll leave you with a verse. 1 Peter 3:15 says, "But in your hearts, set apart Christ as Lord, and always be prepared to give a reason for the faith that you have, for the hope that you have. But do this with gentleness and respect." Paraphrase mine because I'm driving and I can't read the Bible right now. But the key there is that to those who ask. If no one's asking you about your faith, take a step back and ask yourself, why aren't people asking me about my faith? That should rock you. People should be so impressed with your life that they're asking you, like, hey, how can I be like you? And you lay it on them. And be like, look, Jesus set me free. I live free. I live free from bitterness. I live free from fear. I live free from angst. I live free from letting anger turn into wrath. I'm free to confess my sins daily. I'm free to own my failures and ask for forgiveness. Be a man and cry, because real men can cry like Jesus. Anyways. All right, be encouraged, FABcasters. Be encouraged, everybody. Good job, Kuya Manny. And Keith, if you want to hit me up, bro, I'd love to do coffee with you. This is my personal invitation. I love you. I would do lunch with you. I would have coffee with you, and we'd talk. It'd all be loving. All right, hit me up. Peace. Go, bro. Stop recording.